It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join News Director Paul David and News Editor Philip Catafamo as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics in Yavapai County that affect all our lives. And now here's today's Countywide.
Welcome to Countywide. I'm Paul David. As always, it is great to have you in studio with us today. Yavapai Broadcasting is teaming up with Phoenix Children's Hospital, Vice President of Corporate Partnerships and Special Events for Phoenix Children's Hospital Foundation, Tim Harrison in studio. Welcome to studio.
Well, thank you for having us.
We've teamed up and we're going to do a radiothon, a two-day radiothon. It's going to take place on March 5th and 6th from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day. And of course, the idea is to gather up as many donations as we can for Phoenix Children's Hospital to make sure the kids are taken care of properly when they get injured, or no matter what it may be going on with them, right?
Right, correct, yeah.
Yeah. I was hoping that we could start off maybe with a little background on Phoenix Children's Hospital and how it came about.
Sure. It started really as a floor. It was a wing on a floor at Good Sam, so downtown in Phoenix, and we outgrew that space, and really thanks to some visionary leaders back in the day, 36 years ago, we decided we needed our own pediatric hospital. So in the early 80s, we moved into our own facility that looked like the big building off of the 51 there, and we started a freestanding children's hospital, and has grown to what it is right now with the 11-story tower and then the 22 outreach clinics and patient facilities that we have across the valley and state.
Unfortunately, you probably see quite a few kids. I do stories, and I was telling you before the show that not necessarily do I say if a child is injured that they're being flown to Phoenix Children's Hospital. I usually just say they're being flown to a hospital in the Phoenix area, but it's always Phoenix Children's Hospital. It
always is. We're the state's only level 1 pediatric trauma, so when you say flown, when somebody's being airlifted, medevaced, it's going to Phoenix Children's, and we see, unfortunately, the most serious of trauma. So our trauma visits are kind of approaching 3,000 annually, and those things are, it's scary for parents, it's scary for families, it's scary for friends, and most of all, it's scary for the children. But we're a quick flight from places like here, Flagstaff, these surrounding areas, all coming up from the south, coming up there. So we have this facility, and we have the very best trauma surgeons on staff who are there waiting to take care of the kids. And just general, the emergency department is huge. We built a new one because we were overflowing. And so this past year we saw it was about a little over 98,000 kids came through the emergency department.
Just the emergency department?
Just the emergency department.
98,000 kids. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so and over 300,000 outpatient visits that are coming to us. So fairly significant.
When it comes to kids, what can Phoenix Children's Hospital handle? Because you mentioned it's a Trauma 1.
Yeah.
I know it takes some work to get to be a Trauma 1 hospital.
It does. Yeah, you have to go through a lot of accreditation, and some of the very basics is really you have to have 24-hour surgeons on staff. And these are pediatric surgeons, so it's not the other facilities. There are other level 1 trauma facilities, but they're adult, and so you would have an adult surgeon that would be there attending. And so we're really, very, very specialist in our care, and that's what's really the most important. We're not generalists. Everybody is a specialist, and we can handle anything that comes our way.
That's got to be a tough job.
Oh, I can't imagine.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
it's one thing to see somebody who's maybe retired or they've lived their life and they're in the hospital and maybe this is the end. But these are little kids. I mean, we're talking babies.
Yeah.
And they're just these little tiny faces and these sweet little souls, and here they are. They're hurting.
Yeah.
You want to make that go away as fast as you can. I know as a dad I wanted to, but to be a doctor, how do you deal with that sort of a thing?
Well, there's a huge amount of stress. I mean, you and I, we can have a bad day, right? But
yeah.
These guys can't afford, and these men and women that work on the front lines, they can't afford to have a bad day because those outcomes are significant if they do. And not everything is perfect. We do the best that we can, but for the most part, because the staff that are there, they're so highly trained, they're so good at what they do, they care so much that the outcomes are unbelievable. really changing medicine, changing the outcomes of what might be thrown their way at any given moment.
What can the hospital actually handle when it comes to illness, sickness, injury? What is it? Is there a specialty for the hospital?
We handle everything, you name it. And I think one of the misnomers is you obviously, when you picture the hospital, you tend to go to kind of the most serious of perhaps illnesses. There's the vision of the kids that are going through cancer treatments and chemo and, the loss of hair. There's the trauma, that you just imagine the helicopter landing and, the action around a patient that's on a gurney, that kind of thing. Well, we're doing so much. We're doing everything. We do the basics too. It's really about treating everything from start to finish, from 0 to 18 plus. We're also seeing some adult patients because of the quality of care and what we have within, and we can talk about that. But it's really anything and everything is what we see. So somebody might have, bumped heads on the playground and, you just want to check for a concussion, or somebody's got a broken limb or an arm, somebody with more severe cases. We've got them all. And so we do have centers of excellence. And some of those are, what you would be known for, like your emergency department, like our Center for Cancer and Blood Disorders, which is our cancer clinic, or our heart program, or orthopedics, or Barrows Neurological, if you think kind of that brand, which is so big nationally and internationally. So we own that brand for the pediatric side of business. So we've got some real specialists, but we can cover everything.
I guess you'd have to be a specialist. I mean, it's one thing to work on an adult human being. These are not adults. This is a very small little person, much more fragile than I would think I am.
Well, kids need different medicine. It's complex medicine, right? It's not just okay, I'll take the adult medicine and I'll chop it in half because the child is half the size of an adult. That's not how this works, right? Mm-hmm. Like the brains are different at a very younger age. A teenager that's still growing, the bones of the structure of the body is very different. So they have to be treated differently, and rightly so.
What a challenge. What a challenge. Okay, let's take our first break. Vice President, Corporate Partnerships and Special Events for Phoenix Children's Hospital Foundation, Tim Harrison, is in studio today. Phone number for you is 602-933-1000. GiveToPCH.org is the website. You can also go to our website at myradioplace.com and start making donations right now for the Radiothon that's coming up on March 5th and 6th. It'll be from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day on our sister station 105.7 KVRD. Stick around, countywide, back in just a couple minutes.
Parents, you know as well as I do, there's nothing more important than your children. Don't you love to look in their eyes and see the love? Make sure they can see that love in your eyes by having their eyes examined. You can't tell how well your kids see, but Dr. Houston at KVRD Eye Care certainly can. Call 567-3330 to make an appointment. You'll be glad you did. KVRD Eye Care at 567-3330. They really do care.
Turning your real estate dreams and goals into reality, I'm Claudette Johnson with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. For more than 7 years, I've helped both real estate buyers and sellers put me and my team's extensive knowledge of the Sedona and Verde Valley area to work for you. Come see a 4-bedroom, 2.5-bath, single-level home with a pool at 50 Sedona Street. You'll love the Sedona Red Rock views from this VOC area home. We turn your real estate goals into reality. Claudette Johnson at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services of Arizona.
With too many senior homeowners falling short in their retirement dreams, there may be great news for you. A reverse mortgage may be the answer. The flexibility it provides may help you with your retirement dreams, peace of mind, and quality of life in your retirement. For your in-home, no-obligation consultation, contact me at 928-225-7418. That's 928-225-7418. Or you can find me at Facebook at Jim Hostler, Reverse Mortgage Specialist.
Orkin has pest control down to a science.
When your business chooses Orkin's Precision Protection Program, you get a tailored pest control program for your specific industry and environment.
Your business can benefit from over a century of experience, training, and scientific knowledge that define the Orkin man.
Maximum protection, minimum exposure, backed by one of the industry's most comprehensive guarantees.
Choose your locally owned and operated Northern Arizona Orkin and get more than an exterminator. Get an expert.
Welcome back to Countywide. Yavapai Broadcasting getting ready to do a radiothon with Phoenix Children's Hospital. GiveToPC.org is the site you'll want to go to, or you can go to myradioplace.com. There is a banner right on the front page that you can make a donation as well. But we do have a radiothon coming up on 105.7 KVRD, our country station, March 5th and 6th. It'll be from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day with Brad Miller. That's a lot to cover right there.
Yes.
But I did it.
Well done.
All right. Tim Harrison's in studio. He's the Vice President of Corporate Partnerships and Special Events for Phoenix Children's Hospital Foundation. Of course, we want to raise as much money as we can for the kids.
Yes.
Do you do research at the hospital? Are you coming up with cures for things?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's all sorts. There's research teams. There's always new projects that are, a lot of the talent that we hire, and we hire a lot of amazing doctors from all over that are nationally and internationally renowned, and, what helps to build the program sometimes is research. As well as we're very innovative using, the very latest in technology, using kind of innovation to drive our business forward and look for ways to pioneer things. For example, we have one of our doctors that's in the B&I department who's pioneered laser ablation surgery, which is really finding a cure for epilepsy. And it's so much less invasive than it used to be, which was, very significant brain surgery to really kind of try and hone in on where the cause of seizures are. Now it's almost done. It's inpatient for about a day and a half, and then the child gets to go home, and we're seeing cures. And so we're leading the world in some of the things that we do, which is great for the Arizona community that we really super serve, right?
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
technology,
incredible.
the way it moves everything forward.
Yeah, we've got some great partnerships, with some of the medical companies that just help. They want to be the ones that pioneer the technology with us, and we're right there at the forefront. So we're not the Wild West, We're very much at the forefront of technology, and we're one of the leading hospitals in the U.S. as we should be, and because we're the 6th largest kids hospital in the country.
6th largest.
6th largest.
Now, how many kids can you actually have in the hospital?
Well, we have 433 licensed beds currently.
Okay.
We're going through significant expansion. So this is the 4th largest pediatric market in the country. So it's a very big pediatric population, and from throughout the whole community. So we're building a new hospital out in the East Valley. We're a partnership with Dignity Health that'll add emergency department, NICU, inpatient facility, and then we'll continue to expand as the whole of Arizona and the communities expand. We'll add more facilities, and we'll bring on more of our regional offerings so that we're taking care of in the communities that we need to be in.
You probably have kids and families that come from all. Well, there's a thing to talk about. If I'm an adult and I come to the hospital, I can usually maybe come by myself. No big deal. But when we're talking about kids, we've got families there too. So it's not just the child you have in the hospital. You got to take care of the family as well. Yeah. How do you handle that?
Well, I mean, it's multidisciplinary in our approach. Obviously, the child comes first. And it doesn't matter where they come from, and we saw kids come from other countries, from about 42 different states, so they're seeking us out for medical care. But the ability to pay is obviously, if the child is sick, we have to take care of the child first. And so that's really important to us, and the family unit is very important. Obviously, the stress that comes from entering the hospital or having to go to the hospital is huge. So we have a lot of programs. We have a lot of people that are connected to helping smooth things through, helping with the journey. We have a team of Child Life folks, which Child Life really is integrated with the care teams. And they do a lot to help the families and siblings, and just checking to make sure that the time that they're there with us is as comfortable as possible.
Yeah, that would be a challenge.
Yeah, and adding programs that make a difference, right? And so we've got about 60 plus programs that are funded either partially or wholly by philanthropy. So philanthropy plays a very important part for us. which is the reason why we would do things like a radiothon. And so these are the types of programs that we provide: playrooms that funds child life, that does injury prevention, that would have music therapy, pet therapy. We have a school on site, pastoral care. I mean, the list is large and the need is great. And all these programs are not deemed as being medically necessary, but we know they make a difference. So it's really, really critical to the organization that we continue to provide these services.
Oh, that's a lot of services.
It is. And it's an expensive operation.
Right. It's never cheap to go to the hospital. You can ask anybody that. But
no, it's not.
When your child is sick, it not just impacts the child, but it's the whole family.
Everybody.
The finances, everything.
Yeah. I mean, people have to travel. People might have to take off time from work. And, especially with some of our frequent flyer patients or something that's maybe a little bit more significant. But even just if you're coming into the ER because you're not sure your child's been throwing up or has a cold, cough, and it seems to be getting worse, you still might be spending several hours and the stress of just turning up when it presents itself. So it causes a lot. And the operation itself we're so huge. We're over $1 billion to run, and it's about $2.2 million a day to run the hospital.
Wow, that puts it in perspective.
Yeah.
That puts it really at about $1 billion a year to run a hospital.
Yeah.
Of that size.
Yes.
And that level of care. Trauma 1, which is that the highest?
That's the highest.
That's the highest it can be.
Yeah.
Wow, 2.2 million a day?
Yeah,
about $1 billion a year.
It's $1 billion a year to run us.
Oh, chump change then.
Yes.
Right? We can raise that.
We can get close to it.
Yeah, we can put a dent in that.
But
sure
philanthropy makes a big difference. It really does.
It does.
Yeah, and people would, obviously the mothership, the main building down there on Thomas and the 51. It's this 11-story tower with the east wing that's connected to it. So people see that and they think, gosh, that's beautiful, right? It's a very, very beautiful building, and it's designed to reduce stress for families. It's designed to be as patient-centric as possible. So people think we don't need the money. But we really do, because, what philanthropy does is it provides hope, healing. It provides us the ability to have these research studies put in place to purchase some of this new equipment, and sometimes it's just to provide peace of mind for a family.
Just because you have something set up in a room doesn't mean it's going to stay that way forever. I mean, as we talked about earlier in the show, technology changes everything. So
Sure.
yeah, you've got to keep up with the times and keep things moving along. I can't imagine being a parent. My kid went to the hospital once or twice for, a sprained ankle or something like that. I've never really had to go to a hospital for anything serious in my life. But I can imagine, and I don't care to go to the hospital, but if I do, I know there is anxiety in me to have to go. I can only imagine what a child goes through when they know they're going to go into this big building. I don't care what it looks like. This is a kid. Kids don't look at buildings and say, wow, that's a really beautiful building. We do that. But a kid doesn't. All they know is they got to go in there, and it might not be as pleasant for them as they want to be. But that's what you guys are there for, to make it as pleasant as possible.
Right, and it's very inviting, and you would be surprised how many kids enjoy coming. Like, the majority of kids are really excited about coming, especially some of our kids that are the frequent flyers.
Well, that's really neat to hear.
They really enjoy it because the environment is so welcoming, the care is so amazing. The hospital is actually designed from the perspective of the patient, right, and the experience. So, there's lots of bright colors. It's not sterile. It's not kind of that old school, very white, long, plain linear hallways. This is kind of, we've got mosaic walls, we've got animal features, we've got kind of great bright lights and, vibrant colors, and it's very open and warm and welcoming, and it's designed, with that in mind. And we take a lot of input from our families. So we have a number of advisory councils. So we've got a patient advisory board, and that's like a real board. It's made up of current patients, past patients, and siblings of patients, and they kind of report up, eventually up to the CEO, and we listen to what they tell us. Parent advisory councils, they listen to us about the experiences within the hospital, what we can do better to serve a family, and that's important to us.
Yeah, that's very important. Okay, let's take another break. A few things for you. Phone number directory is 602-933-1000. You had a phone number as well that you'd like to throw out there.
Yeah, so when the Radiothon, when we're up and running, 602-933-4567 will be the number.
Okay, and you'll hear more about that number over the next several days. Give to PCH.org. Donations can be made right now. You can also find a donation on our website at myradioplace.com. This Radiothon is going to be on 105.7 KVRD, our country station, March 5th and 6th from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day. Stick around, countywide, back in just a couple minutes.
Repair, replace. Regenerative medicine is the process of creating living, functional tissues to repair or replace tissue or organ function lost due to age, disease, damage, or congenital defects. Dr. Forrest Lanchbury and the team at Sedona Regenerative Medicine specialize in finding relief for patients suffering from chronic pain. Contact Sedona Regenerative Medicine to learn about anti-aging medicines that will help your body heal itself. 928-282-2520 or SedonaRegen.com.
Starting in the late 1920s, Grandpa Gettle and his brothers laid the groundwork for what would become a family legacy. Almost 100 years and 100 patents later, Gettle's High Desert Mechanical continues to raise the bar of quality heating, cooling, and plumbing products and services in the Verde Valley.
Call Gettle's High Desert Mechanical Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing at 567-2200 or online at GettlesHDM.com, providing solutions for your comfort. Don't settle. Get Gettles.
With too many senior homeowners falling short in their retirement dreams, there may be great news for you. A reverse mortgage may be the answer. The flexibility it provides may help you with your retirement dreams, peace of mind, and quality of life in your retirement. For your in-home, no-obligation consultation, contact me at 928-225-7418. That's 928-225-7418. Or you can find me at Facebook at Jim Hostler, Reverse Mortgage Specialist.
Hi, this is Lori and Melissa from Sedona Soul Spaces. We are the premier source for all your interior design, decorating, and staging needs.
Every day people ask, why didn't I call you sooner?
Let us use our passion, creativity, and experience to make your life easier.
Don't make costly mistakes. Call us and we will help save you time and money.
We offer full-service interior design, custom furnishings,
complete home staging, turnkey vacation home packages.
Sedona Soul Spaces, creating extraordinary spaces that delight your soul.
Welcome back to Countywide. Just a couple of minutes left in the program. Just want to remind you again that we are going to have a radiothon here at Yavapai Broadcasting. It's going to be on 105.7 KVRD, our country station. It'll be on Thursday, Friday, March 5th and 6th from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. with Brad Miller. The number during the radiothon will be 473-KVRD, 473-KVRD. But you can also go to our website at myradioplace.com. We've got a banner there where you can make a donation. You can also go to give to PCH.org. Correct. That's Phoenix Children's Hospital, give to PCH.org, and a phone number for you, 602-933-1000. We've got a lot. Let me ask you this. Before anybody wants to donate money, they want to know where it's going to go. Absolutely. So where's it going to go to?
It will go to the programs that need it the most. So our Hope Fund, our unrestricted fund that allows the hospital to do the things that really make a difference. So some of the things we talked about, like our child life, our pet therapy, music therapy, it will help us buy, the red wagons that we tow the kids around instead of, wheeling them around in wheelchairs. It allows us to buy, preemie diapers, which are, these tiny little diapers.
Holy moly.
Books for our library, school supplies, lots of little things. And, it's really so important. It allows us to really take that next step forward with innovation. It helps us recruit the very best talent from nationally and internationally. And that all helps us do what we do and helps provide the best outcomes for Arizona and the community's kids.
It's got to take a lot of special people to see all these kids coming through with whatever it is they have going on, be able to take care of it and send them on their way, and then face the next one that comes through the door and realize these are children. It's a far more difficult job, than I think, than being just a doctor for someone like you and me going in. Granted, of course, the care has to be just as equal, but that's got to be tough. You talk to law enforcement and firefighters, when there's kids involved, you could just tell it just tears them apart. And it goes with the public as well. So I appreciate everything you do at Phoenix Children's Hospital. That's fantastic. Hope the Radiothon's a huge success.
Thank you.
I really do. It was great meeting you.
Thank you, Paul.
Very nice meeting you. Tim Harrison, Vice President, Corporate Partnerships and Special Events for Phoenix Children's Hospital Foundation. Again, the number is 602-933-1000. You can go to givetopch.org, or you can go to myradioplace.com to make a donation. That's being done right now. And the Radiothon is again coming up on Thursday and Friday, March 5th and 6th. It'll be from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day with Brad Miller on 105.7 KVRD. That's today's Countywide. Thanks as always for watching and listening, and we'll talk to you again next time.